I was accusing, Ron of having birthday. Yeah. I had the wrong office.
We don't know what it sort of looks like, him, it ain't used to.
Sorry, Officer Jenkins, I had the wrong Jenkins.
No, that didn't seem to care. You didn't seem to care about that? No, it's changing the size of the other stuff. I don't know why. Old TV. It's good news.
Somewhere.
Or if you go on the next screen of it. No, it's on the three. I checked it. You
Can't see that far with that one glasses, so.
see, technically, it's on the full screen out there. It's on the side.
We can find more. You take pictures, huh?
No, I took the OUD off.
Somebody let her out.
Okay.
You may have to, yeah, she got a cane. My granddaughter almost threw the pool yesterday. Close enough, we'll call this meeting to order for Tuesday, this Tuesday, May 26th of 2026. So I'd like to ask you to stand. I'll lead us in invocation and Mr. Loudon to lead us in the pledge. Let's pray together. Heavenly Father, we thank you for the gift you give us of this day. Pray that we lead it according to your will. We thank you for the opportunity to be here tonight. Give us clear minds and help us make rational decisions for our community. Thank you for our first responders, all those who put their life in harm's way, protecting us. Thank you for opportunity to serve. Thank you for our community that we live in. Help us to help make a difference each and every day. We thank you for our Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ, and it's in his name we pray. Amen. Kenny?
Attention, salute, pledge.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. May be seated.
Who run from?
Roll call, please.
Mayor Harris.
Here.
Vice Mayor Dixon.
Here.
Councilmember Cardwell.
Here.
Councilmember Newman.
Here.
Councilmember Ridings.
Here.
Thank you.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for coming to the monthly meeting of the Loudon City Council. My name is Mayor Jeff Harris, and I'd like to welcome everyone to our meeting tonight. Tennessee law gives every Tennessean the right to attend city council meetings and to see how their government operates. We appreciate each of you have taken time from your own personal schedules to be here tonight to see how your government works. It's my intention as your chair that we create a space where everyone feels seen, heard, respected, and valued. You should have a copy of tonight's agenda. If you do not have a copy of the agenda, you can pick one up on the table at the back of the room. This agenda is your guide to the topics we're going to be discussing tonight. In order to conduct efficient, business-like meetings, the council has adopted some specific rules to follow. Primarily, these rules are designed to keep the meeting moving, ensure that all points of view are heard and considered, and to provide for common courtesy. In a few minutes, we'll come to the place on the agenda entitled Citizens Input, where anyone who has signed in to speak to council is encouraged to do so. We do, however, ask that you wait until you've been recognized before we approach the podium. And address the council. Ask that you observe 3 simple rules. At the beginning of your presentation, please state your name for the records, address all your questions and concerns to the chair, and avoid the use of improper language, profanity, or any other inappropriate conduct. Once the citizens' input portion of the meeting is over, the council will proceed with the remainder of the agenda. You're welcome to stay and observe the meeting, but be advised that any additional public comments will be limited to 3 minutes and at the discretion of City Council. We ask everyone to remember we're doing the people's business here tonight. It's a very important responsibility for all of us. You can help us do this business by observing the rules we've established for our meetings. And again, I want to welcome everyone to our Loudon City Council meeting. We're glad that you're here tonight. We have a lot of visitors here. We want to thank y'all for coming. I appreciate your attendance here tonight. Next item on the agenda is adoption of the agenda.
Mr. Mayor,
Yes.
I'd like to ask that under M, Article 4, be tabled to be discussed further.
Okay.
I'll make it as a motion.
Okay, we have a motion to amend the agenda to table item 4 under resolution. It will take a second. Is there a second to that?
It's too quick, guys. We're already within that 60-day window, so nothing's gonna change anyway. So we got plenty of time to talk about it.
Okay, is there a second to the motion on the floor to table item 4 under M?
I'll make a motion with a second, just so we get a conversation about it.
Okay, all right. So he seconded the motion to table it. Kenny, I'm gonna ask you, do you have table it for a certain time frame or just,
Well, if we don't vote on it this month, it becomes in week 1, we would have till Christmas and next year to discuss it. So, yeah, at least for a couple of months.
okay, we'll open the floor up for discussion.
So what do we gain by pausing, by tabling it, pushing it back?
Well, for one, I just feel like it's being crammed down our throats. We could talk with our present insurance agent and see if he could expand his horizons. There's just lots of things that I don't feel like that we have discussed in depth. That's just my reason.
Would you like me to speak
Sure,
about
you
that
can.
now, or?
You can.
Okay,
Since it's on the floor now to be tabled.
so to explain why we would like you all to let this on the agenda and go to the part of the meeting to discuss. I do apologize if it feels crammed. This is how we do all professional services. I started this process back in January of putting together the RFQ. There was a couple of health things I went through this year, plus budget, that slowed my process down, plus being the GM for the utilities too, a lot of things going on there. But we went ahead and put it out knowing that we could get it in before the end of the fiscal year so that we had evaluated professional services. I will absolutely not say anything derogatory about our current provider. He's served this city for a long, long time. You are correct that we will carry the same coverage. We're inside that window now, that we would still carry the same coverage. In full transparency, we might always carry that same coverage. But when we put this out for request for qualifications, and I've given you all a printout, they came back in, they were scored, each of you had the chance to score them. We had 8 or 9 that did score them. And through our senior staff, and there were 1 or 2 board council members that scored, we just came to the realization that we, as the senior staff, we think there's a better option in play for the city of Loudon and Loudon Utilities. That comes from years of experience, size of the staff, neighboring counties, so still a local provider, a state of Tennessee provider. There's lots of things that go with this larger staff and this experienced number of municipal utilities, number of cities, numbers of counties, boards of education. There's just a lot of government and construction company experience, which we deal with. There's a whole lot of experience with police departments, sheriff's departments. I can call Chris up here to talk about, we wouldn't name an entity, but dealing with a major car accident with a police vehicle and a resident that both perished in the wreck. They're dealing with that type of insurance claim also. And on top of that, even though, yes, we would be going with the same coverage right away, we could start immediately on evaluating the process that goes through, evaluating all of our assets, all of the things that we have that go along with our coverage. We could start working on putting out RFPs for different providers if we so choose to do that. We may never want to go away from Tennessee Risk Management. But then we also, even though Tennessee Risk Management also offers some other services that we've not been engaged in for a while, Athens Insurance also has a safety and risk arm of their company that's outside of the insurance side, where they come in and provide a lot of things like OSHA, TOSHA inspections and training, CPR first aid, AED, all those certifications from an OSHA and TOSHA certified instructor. They'll walk through with a former, that same employee is a former OSHA, TOSHA employee that'll come and do your walk through mock inspections before you even have an inspection, so that hopefully, you know what's going on with those things. They offer some HR related services where if you're having to terminate an employee or doing things, they help you walk through the risk side of that, of what you face in terms of lawsuits. So I definitely would never say anything derogatory about a local business, because they're great people. They've done a good job. We just think that there is more bang for the buck available with this change. If we wait, then we're putting off for probably a whole year the ability to have these services, the ability to go ahead and be working through our coverages, our assets, our vehicles, the thing, just the inventory of everything and looking through those things. I understand to some it would feel rushed. To me, it's been going on for 6 months, and it's gone on the way that any professional services survey goes here. We just don't, I made it more available to the board and council this time, trying to make it a more transparent process, knowing that there would be issues. But senior staff and me as the manager believe that this is a move that's in the best interest of the city of Loudon and Loudon Utilities, and we believe that it was a thoroughly done process, done the right way, and we just think it's what makes sense for the city of Loudon and Loudon Utilities. So we would respectfully ask that you consider our recommendation for professional services.
So just a reminder, the motion we're talking about is tabling it, we're not voting on the actual item itself. So the motion is, do we table it or do we leave it on the agenda? Any other discussion?
Call the vote.
Tim, you have anything?
No.
John? Okay. All those in favor of table it, say aye. Any that say to not table it, say no.
No.
No? Okay, so we'll leave it on the agenda. So now we need, I need a motion to adopt the agenda as printed.
I'll make a motion we adopt it.
Second. Okay, motion second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
No.
Okay. Citizens input, we have one. Mitch?
Mitch Miller, and I'm going to speak on the exact same item. So I also am of the opinion that the renewal is just around the corner. There is an intergovernmental agreement between Tennessee Risk Management, so you're not talking about different coverage or anything like that. You're basically just doing an agent record, a change, and swap the broker handing the fee. That hasn't been negotiated yet, because this is just to start that process, to another broker for the exact same coverage. I think that the process should be more involved in establishing the broker, asking to look at coverage and do all the assets, and then get proposals and then do the thing. I'm of the opinion that renewing with a local provider, local Loudon business here, this year's right. I'm not saying don't look at it. I'm not saying it's the only option or that this is the only way you should go. I'm just thinking it is rushed, and you're inside the window in which you can make changes. And I believe a lot of the services that Mr. Goins spoke about could be provided by the local provider here. There is some engagement on safety and things that I think haven't been taken advantage of that are probably available, and those conversations haven't been asked. And the thing that sort of is like, have we asked the current provider straight up, do you do this? Now, the request for qualifications come out. There's some things that get skewed, like the carrier may provide a service that the agent may not think that that's his service because he doesn't necessarily provide it, but your insurance carrier provides it. So I just encourage you to take a step back and look at the timing and consider that you maybe still go exactly the same route, but you do it in a more, a process that doesn't look like you're just firing somebody because you're upset with them. And that's what it looks like. The optics are wrong. And I just have a problem with that. So that's my 2 cents. I appreciate your time.
Okay,
Thank you.
thank you, Mitch. Okay, next item on the agenda is the approval of the minutes from a regular meeting of April 27th, 2026.
Yes, Mayor and Council, I was not at that meeting, but I reviewed the minutes with Attorney Ford, and they appear in order.
Okay, do I have a motion to approve the minutes?
I'll make a motion to approve.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor say aye. Any opposed? Okay, reviewing discussion items, fiscal year 26-27 budget. I'll turn it over to Manager Goins. He's gonna review draft number 2 of the proposed fiscal year budget.
Okay, ride with me for a few minutes. I made this a slideshow so I could try to make it quick, but I feel like you hired me to tell you the whole story, to bring you information, to arm you for making decisions, and that's simply what I'm trying to do here. We created, if you'll remember last year, I worked through, we had the check boxes where we could turn things on and off. We did some things. We're kind of working off that model again, but this one's much more involved. When I show it to you afterwards, I would tell you to thank our Senior Reporter Finance Director, Melissa, worked really hard on getting this into a really good format that helps us understand. What you're seeing here, first off, this is presented as the budget as presented. So the budget as presented has the action item from the public safety. It has engineering and planning position. It has 3% COLA that you all approved in January of us moving forward with. The assistant manager, sorry, I'm having trouble reading that from all over here.
Assistant manager.
The assistant manager funding and the department heads, all those things. This one's a little different. If the box is not checked, then it is included. So if I click the box shortly, we're taking it out of the budget, just so everybody's aware of what that looks like. What you're seeing here real quick to orient you to the slideshow, because it's hard, or to the spreadsheet, because it's hard to just walk into one of these things and not know what's going on. That first line is our projected revenue growth. Melissa has looked at what is, historically, what has our revenue growth looked like. So you can see across through there, that's set at 3% across. That's a projection. If we have a financial boom, or if we have a recession, and we'll talk about that a little bit, those numbers obviously can go down, but those are just our projections. The next one is our expected growth, our expense growth, I'm sorry. We have been on the conservative side and said we need to plan 5%. It could come in less than that, but I don't want to understate what growth of our expenses could look like. So we chose 5% as a good safe number when we talk about inflation and all things that go along with that. This line item here would be pennies, so we can go in and change the tax rate by pennies so that you can see the impact throughout the rest of the spreadsheet. This is our property tax rate, so what we will be telling you shortly is that our, what's the term? Certified tax rate, set by the county, by the assessor's office, is 0.7902. So after the assessment, that is the new rate from 119 to 1.19 to 0.7902. This line here, if we make a penny change, it will show you what a penny does for a $400,000 home appraisal. So you'll see that reflected in this line. This is our recurring expenditures, adjustments. You'll see that move if we take positions out. One-time expenses, we don't have any of these to put in, but we could if we needed to. That's a line that we could look at. This one-time revenues, Melissa has included some grant funds and a couple of things, mostly grants, and what else was in it?
The line is grants for the sidewalk project,
Okay,
to match the expenditures.
Okay.
But we could include capital asset sales.
Yeah.
Or any other kind of one time.
so we can work through that, but right now it just has funds that we expect to come in from grants. New debt service, we're not proposing any new debt, but we could plug that in here if we wanted to. And then previously, when we talked about surplus or deficit, we were talking about recurring revenues to recurring expenses deficit or surplus. We weren't including asset management or our capital plan. So previously, when we had told you that we potentially had a $460,000 surplus, that was true if you talk about recurring revenues to recurring expenses only. But we have to fund our asset management and capital improvement plan too. So we deemed that we needed to go ahead and to tell the whole story, because this will bear itself out in the graph here at the bottom. And so as we currently stand, that number right there is about $816,000 deficit if we're funding fully funding our capital out of our recurring expenses. I've told you what this box over here is. That's personnel actions. If it's checked, then it's not included in the budget. So right now, those are all included in the numbers that we're looking at. And that just shows that close so you can see it a little better. I'll let you see those real quick before I click on through. In the interest of not keeping here all night, I'll go ahead and move along because we've got 2 more slides of it. That's the total cost of that per year. What we did, the conversation we had on public safety the other night, we have to pay for TCRS and other benefits that go on too. So we factored all those in because that's what the cost of what we were instructed to do. That's what it cost us for the year. And I needed to go ahead and kind of give you all intimate knowledge of the pennies impact when we make decisions. When we talk about positions or we talk about things, that's the number of pennies as of this year that those things cost. This one over here, what you're seeing here, that orange line, that is the $6 million target that we have, that we believe it's smart to keep our fund balance above. So we've just got that line transposed on there. Now we just did a flat $6 million. If our revenues go up, that number would climb a little, but that would just get complicated. So we're just holding that steady. So that is that $6 million floor. This red line at the bottom, that is the state recommended minimum. Now it's not state required, but if we get close to it or fall under it, they will be in here asking us questions. They get really uncomfortable if your fund balance gets below that. The green line is the decline in the fund balance over time, and I'll be able to explain that a little better as we get into it. And then the columns are just our general and capital funds added together. So that is our general fund and capital fund balance as we go through these 6 years that we've got up here. Hope that's orienting you. Probably the 2 most important lines to you all would be this graph that shows our fund balance and this surplus deficit line that's on the bottom. And I'm just going to highlight them here so you know where to look, because that's probably going to be your most, the things you're going to want to see the most. This proposed budget again has the approval of all the personnel needs that we have. We believe these are all we need, and we think would be all we would need outside of a codes enforcement. But we think that's probably a good chance that when we evaluate the fee structure, that it will much pay for itself. I don't have it in here yet. Travis and Director Brubaker say they think they're okay on it for now. So this is with no revenue actions. So you can see no pennies proposed here. This is just the way our budget sits. If we look at that, our deficit grows year over year. This number continues to get larger and larger and larger. And as it does that, we have to make up the difference of that deficit in the capital fund. And that's why you continue to see this capital fund drop. So, we were talking about the importance of making a revenue plan last week or 2 weeks ago. This is kind of a picture of what it looks like if we don't look at taking action. You'll see that we fall below our target in 2030, and we start to get really close out here in 2031, 2030. We go under the state required minimum in 2032. Now, that same look, but removing the engineering and the assistant manager things that I need to try and fix that. You'll notice that the picture doesn't change a whole lot. It does change a little. We stay above the state required or the state recommended minimum one more year. But if you look at those deficits, there's about $200,000 difference over 6 years. This isn't what's killing us. It is hurting us if we don't do some of the things we need to do here. So you'll see that it still grows over year, but I've kind of pointed out those. Now, I just put in a couple of different scenarios to show you what looking at, and again, I'm not the decision maker, I am the information provider. So I'm just trying to arm you all to make a decision on knowing that you've got the best information available. All I do is give recommendations and provide information. If we looked at not doing anything this year and doing on alternate years 4 cents, I just picked that out of the air as a way that we might could look at doing things. Well, we really haven't changed our outlook a ton. Our deficit still grows year over year. Our fund balances still drop year over year. We get out to 2032 still above the state required minimum, but we're still down about $3 million right there. So our fund balance would have gone at this point from up around 11 or 12 to down around 3. And our deficit has continued, it's held a little steadier, but it has continued to grow. That's with the positions involved. So if you want to take note of the positions on the graph and our deficit, the next slide will have without those positions. So if we take off just 3, our financial position hasn't changed a ton. It's still not as good as it would be without them, but our ability to provide the service that we need to provide the city isn't quite as good. But you can see in the long-term picture, it doesn't make massively huge differences. What's making the difference is when we plan our revenues accordingly. So this scenario is 5 years of revenue action starting next year, not starting this year, and looking at, say, 4 cents there, and that's back with all the jobs. The deficit remains steady with minimal decline, so it does start to go down a little bit, and we do keep our fund balance higher for longer. We still go under our target in 2031, which means in 2031 we've got to start making some harder decisions about how do we keep that healthy and make sure that that's a sustainable way to do business. Same thing, I'm going to swap to the next slide and take those three pay classification things out. It keeps us 1 year longer, still meeting our 6 million, just barely, and it changes the deficit by a couple of $100,000. It's still going to require action over time. It doesn't make a massively huge difference. It does make a difference. Don't mistake me saying that it doesn't make a small difference, but it's not the make or break to our budget. The make or break to our budget is making smart fiscal decisions about our future revenues plans while we continue to try to make better position about our expenses. Now, I think this one's important to look at. This is the budget presented as is. But just with 2 years of a light recession, instead of 3% growth, we only have 1% growth projected for 2 years. What you'll notice is we fall quick, we go to zero cash in our fund right here. The state will have a major problem with that. We go in 2031 to not having, barely meeting the state's required or recommended minimum. So if we choose to do no action, if we don't have financial growth, if we happen to hit a recession, I just feel like I need to make sure everybody understands that we start to get below our fund balance requirements and we're still operating at a large deficit if we're trying to do roads. Now, the only thing we can do at that point is defer maintenance. We can stop paving roads, we can stop buying cars and trucks, we can stop doing a lot of things. But that's our only avenue if we get in this place. So you notice this is the first one we see that we actually deplete our entire fund balance. Budget is presented with 2 years light recession. Oh, and this is the same thing, but without the 2 jobs, or the three pay classification issues. That keeps us 1 year longer of not being totally in the red by about, if I was on the spreadsheet, I could show you the number. It's probably about $50,000. So we're already in a really bad position if we do nothing and we have bad years. Now, as the manager, looking at this from a how do we run the business the best way possible, because there is an art between balancing your deficit surplus and also managing your fund balance well. If our fund balance gets too high, we're probably not being responsible. We probably over-collected or not spending what we need to. So if you look at this instance where it basically comes down to 6 cents for the next 6 years, yearly, we start to get down to where we're getting our fund balance down closer to our target. And if you look at the end of the year, and this is with all of the things that we're asking for in there, we get down to being within $50,000 of being balanced. And that's balanced with our recurring revenues, covering our recurring expenses, our asset management, and our capital. So this is, to me, this is the, if it's a business decision only, this is a smart way of looking at how do we make sure this city is the best position for the future, that we can provide the services, and that we can make sure that we're doing the right things. Now, the next slide, again, is going to be just like the others. I'm taking those 3 lines out. Maybe I didn't. I meant to. I did, it's just not showing up. Anyway, you'll get the point that it's a very small difference.
The pennies are doing change the pennies.
No, yeah, the pennies are different.
Oh, no, I didn't take them out. I just went to recommendation. I'm sorry, I ran out of time, so I didn't do those. This is recommendation 2. This is not as responsible of a plan business-wise. You'll see that our fund balance gets all the way down to our target, and we're still operating at a pretty good deficit, but we are headed in the right direction if we go this direction. We don't get there as fast. This doesn't account for any recession or any of those kind of things. But a couple of things I thought important was to make sure that we're telling y'all the whole story so that we don't wind up 4 years down the road and somebody say, well, why didn't you tell us? Because everybody maybe doesn't see this as often as we do here in the office. Melissa shoves this in my face a lot, so we have to work through our finances. And so when we talk about wise ways to protect the city from getting in a bad financial position, we don't want to see the city here. We definitely don't want to see the city there. And so these are why we just put together these scenarios. Now, if you have other scenarios you want to see, I've got the spreadsheet loaded. I can pull it down and change some numbers for you if you would like. We do plan to have a much longer workshop about this in a month or 2, so that we can start to really make some more plan of what we need to do. Because we're not asking you to do anything on any of these years out through here. I just needed you to see the impact of doing or not doing anything this year. So what you all are going to be discussing on the agenda here shortly is just this year one, anything or nothing. We will meet again in a month or two where we start to really develop and we can really dig deep into these scenarios as deep as you all want to. So that's probably more appropriate for them, but we're not opposed to doing that for you now if that's something you want to see. Any questions?
There's also some efficiencies in departments that could take place that could also affect these numbers.
We are actively pursuing those.
Yeah.
And they will help
Big ticket items.
a little,
Yeah.
they will, what I can promise you is, everybody listening, we can't cut our way to prosperity. We're about cut. Like, we're pretty doggone lean. There are places we could lean up a little bit, and we're working on some of those. Daniel and I are working through a whole lot of,
Yeah.
I don't see, oh, right there he is. We're working through some of those ideas, and you all have heard a little of that. There are places that we're working on trying to figure out some other revenues. We're looking at our permitting and those kind of fees. We're looking at, we're working with the Spiegler Group is modeling some of that with the different department heads to see some of those things. And those will help a little. What I can tell you is these are the best numbers to try and make the short-term decisions. And when we get out here further, if we get some of those things fixed, that's a great thing. We can back off from what our projection is. But I don't think those things are just going to fix it. And I know that's not the story that everybody wants to hear. It's not even the story I want to tell. But it is what you hired me to tell you. And so I just want to make sure I'm arming you with all the information that I possibly can for you all to have discussion and know what the future is going to look like for the city of Loudon.
Okay, any questions for Kevin concerning this? This is the discussion of the
Is this
budget.
a discussion,
We'll be to voting on the budget and so you'll have
Later on
to
the agenda.
accept the tax rate soon and then decide if you're going to do something else with it. It's all down through the agenda.
so we're just gonna discuss it now?
Yeah, we can discuss it more then, or we can discuss it now. It's whichever way you want it. We can discuss it with the item when it's time to take action on, or you can, it's totally up to you.
I guess it's here too, so if there was some changes, you could plug those in and see the difference of what that difference.
We can if you want to see those things. I can plug some numbers in if you want to see them different too, yes.
Not necessarily a question, but I appreciate you and staff and the thoroughness that you guys, the snapshot. I've never seen a snapshot that looks like this since I've been here, so appreciate the work you guys have done on this.
I wish it was better news.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, no, real, but no, I appreciate the picture you guys are painting for it, giving us the information.
Tim, you have any questions?
No.
Yeah, John, anything?
I mean,
You have some, I'm sure that.
I do, I'm just trying to decide the best place to have this discussion. I do understand your projections are on expense growth, probably a little bit high, but I understand why you're throwing 5. I know the Fed, their 5-year projection is around 3 instead of 5. And it's not cutting our way to prosperity, but just remember a cut, a 1% cut equals 2 pennies in tax increase. But also 1% increase in revenue growth is 2 pennies also. So it goes away. So we're talking $120,000. If we can find $120,000 in a $11 million budget, that's 2 pennies we don't have to raise. If we can find, like I said, there are other places we look, and I know we're gonna get fees, we're also gonna look at pilots, because it hadn't been adjusted since 2019. If you just had a 1% inflation adjustment on pilot, that would account for 2 pennies. So there are things there, but I agree with you, I don't think we can wait, because every time you wait, that number compounds. So if you wait this year, that number becomes a 5 instead of a 4.
The other one, I think 6 over 6 years is untenable. That's a 48% increase over 6 years. But a bump now and then do a hard look next year to find it. Now, it wasn't decisions that we're making or made this year. It was last year's decisions, if you remember. Last year, going into the year, we had enough recurring revenue to cover capital, PO&M. But then we ate into it by a tune of about $650,000, and we didn't pay for it last year. That's why we're having to figure out how to pay for it this year. So it wasn't all just this year, it was last year's decisions that hurt us.
And I should have put on here, and I might have had more time. We worked on this late last night, and then today I did nothing for all the years and put in like 25 cents out a few years. No help. You don't want to be in that situation,
No.
but even if you are, it's not. And we can run that model one day, but it's not. That doesn't fix our position by
And
way
remember,
of a large
those
adjustment.
efficiencies we find cannot come from the capital account. They must come from PO&M, period. Capital doesn't, that's what we've been doing. It's been dipping into the capital side, and then we don't pave roads, we don't buy cars, we don't have bullets, we don't have, fire hoses. So we can't wait. That's what we did last year, and that's what we're paying for right now.
I definitely think we need to put together what you've done, some sort of ladder system here, because 6 over 6, that's not feasible, but.
You understand why I picked that. though.
Oh, no, exactly, 100%, no, just it helps paint the picture to show, but to that point, I feel like it would be irresponsible of me, I'm looking at the checkbox here, I'm responsible for at least 4 pennies there with the COLA and the public safety personnel impact. I feel like it'd be irresponsible of me to say, I want to pay for this, or, I want to provide this, but I don't want to pay for this. So, I mean, out the gate, in my opinion, it's not popular, but I think we've got to start with a 4. I think we've got to start with 4 pennies.
We would say to that, if that's what you said, what you see there is 3.98, and what that does is that just levels off that number.
Right.
So that's why you see that weird number, who likes to stop the gas pump on
Right.
39.97, that's Melissa's preference there, so that's why you see that.
I got you. Okay, makes it even.
Yeah.
Okay, I see. I like that. But, and so, like I said, all we're doing is voting on this year, and for a later date is when we'll need to talk about the rest of that ladder. But I feel like we gotta come into it with understanding this year that we have to start building that staircase to where we want to be in 6 years. Instead of, like you said, wait 5 years and, build one big 25-cent step. That's not, I don't think that's attainable.
Yeah, we believe we really need to have a long workshop one day where we can just plug numbers in and you all can play all the scenarios. That's obviously not for tonight, but we believe that's an important thing that we do over the next month or 2. So we will provide that opportunity for you, planning session.
But we can fund this budget this year with the certified tax rate that's approved. And the positions added.
I think that's it, right?
Go back to the 0. We can't fund it, puts us 800,000 in the hole.
Let's see, which one was it?
I think it's
Go to your very first one.
So, 800,000.
810,000.
So 818 in the hole if we,
But our fund balance is still above the $6 million target.
we're 800 in the hole.
Right. That's where it's hard to,
Right.
the fund balance is above the target this year and the next 3 years, 2 years. That's what's so tough about it, that,
We put it off last year, we can't put it off another year, it just compounds the problem. Last year was a 10 penny increase that we didn't fund. Now all of a sudden it's, that one is a 12-cent difference right there,
To break even? Is that-
just to break even.
To make up the 800,000.
Yeah.
Yeah.
800,000.
And if you keep going, and then it just, all of a sudden, we're 26 cents in the hole. Every year you wait, it gets worse. And so, would you rather go ahead and change it small numbers over time or a really big number at the end?
Well, because if you, yeah.
Or, I said, we stop paving, we stop buying cars, we stop it, because, I mean, that's it.
Maybe we don't buy as many, or maybe we push things out that can be pushed out.
We've started that some. We worked with Director Brubaker to move a few. One of the things and one of the things I didn't bring up, but that you'll see in the capital plan, is that instead of having a ladder truck, 2 million hit in 1 year, we've split funding that $500,000 a year for 4 years, so that we are not hitting the capital fund as hard to replace the truck. We might even be able to move it out a year or two beyond that, but we did break up, we took the fireboat out and we broke up the fire truck over 4 years. It was 4 years, right? To
You could
fund it a
also
little bit at a
finance, you
time.
could also finance the truck.
Could finance,
Well, once again, that only adjusts the one time the capital side, it doesn't fix the recurring revenue problem we have. That just pushes the problem down the road.
I just think about the city residents get hit with county and city taxes. County raised it 16%, something like that. We just went through a reappraisal year, everybody's property values went up. I just think it's a bad time to do it.
And
I just one vote though.
I tend to agree with that, but also agree that any time is a bad time.
Yeah, I said there is
You know, as a
no
taxpayer,
good time.
as a taxpayer, I would like to I'd like to be rid of property taxes. I wish the state of Tennessee would decide that wanted to do that. As a city council member, I feel differently.
yeah, it's a terrible idea.
It's terrible.
It's
Yeah, as a city council member, I feel way differently. As a taxpayer, because what's looking at this impact? One penny on a $400,000 home, which I don't know what the average home is in
Well,
Loudon.
it tells right
It
here.
could be higher or lower.
It's assessed at 100,
Yeah, it is.
or 25%.
One penny is $10 per year. 4 pennies, $40 per year. So again, the headline is tax increase, but the fine print is $40 a year, which again, for some people, I understand that is.
Keep on, it goes on forever.
It goes, yeah, it can go on forever, you're correct. And that's, like I said, there's not a real good win either way. You look at the.
Like I said, we put it off last year. We put it off this year. Then, I said, that 4 becomes a 6.
Yeah, the increase in the future does.
Yeah. And then, and if we can't fix it by pushing capital projects off, we can't cut enough. We can cut some. I think we can cut the growth from 5% down. I think we can do that. Revenues have really only been growing at 2.5%. If you look at the past few years.
And that could go up too, we don't know, that's the trend, I know what you're saying, but it could be
Yeah.
higher.
It could be, but like I said, I think there are some adjustments that we can do that we might be able to find it to where this is a one-time shot. Okay? But I said, we put it off last year to the tune of 12 cents that we said, I think the quote was, Kevin's new, give him a year to figure it out. And then nothing was done. Now we come this year and it's, let's just push it off another year, and then another year, and another, and then we keep digging this hole. And fund balance goes down, and we're making the burden a little bit higher. Go back, what were you changing there? Yeah, okay, so,
I did 25 cents 1 year out, and
Yeah.
you can tell it.
when I was doing it, it was 2.5 on growth and 3% on inflation. And it still puts us about 1.6 short after 3 years, which is about, what we said, 20 cents. But again, I understand why you're putting 3 and 5. It's showing you know, worst case. But like I said, you know, remember, rule 2 in finance, $1 today is worth more than $1 tomorrow. Because that dollar we put off is gonna be inflated by, or eaten up 5% before we can get to it. You get streamed. Now, I think we need to wait on I know it's not popular, but on the engineering, assistant manager and director, that's 2.5 pennies. That I think we need to wait until we figure out how to fund it. And once we fund it, and I'm not saying we don't need it, I'm just saying we can't afford it yet. And that, like I said, that's 2.5 pennies right there that we'd have to tack on that, or it's eating 2.5 pennies of a 4-cent increase. Just delay that until we can figure out, once we get into the numbers, to figure out how to pay for it.
Okay, what's like a 2-4-2 on the pennies look like?
242 all the way down.
Yeah, all the way through,
Alternating.
alternating, yeah. Cause I think there's a compromise somewhere that.
We still got $960,000.
Yeah, still $1 million in the hole.
Still a big deficit.
I mean, if you're gonna do that, why not just leave it 0 and you're not affecting it that much. Don't even
These
have
are
to-
about a $200,000 difference over that 6 years.
I guess yeah, to that point,
Yeah.
in the big picture, you're correct, but when do we make the jump? And what change, you know, if we're making slight adjustments to the wheel here, to always have a snapshot where we're staying at that orange mark, 5 years out, or when do you jump in? Because there's no ways around it, time's gonna go by and tax is gonna have to
Yeah,
go up.
but remember, it's not hitting the orange mark, it's the trend.
Right.
If you don't change it, the next year it's here and it keeps going down, it just pushes the problem out, it didn't fix it.
Yeah.
You have to have positive cash flow, that number has to turn green sometime, or the problem's never fixed. Don't look at that as being fixed, that is not fixed at all, that's just a slower amount of poison than taking it off at one time. That number has to go green. And if we're saying we're trying to make it go green in 5 years, you have to take action to make it go green. And every day you delay, the harder and harder it gets.
And remember, even at the 6 over 6 years, it only got to 50,000 in the red, it never got to green.
Well,
That's why I brought that number, because it
but also it's.
maintained the fund balance,
That
but it
was
started
just,
getting us
that
to
was
where
also just
fund balance
trying to
wasn't.
fix it with
deleting.
pennies alone.
Right.
I still think some of the fixes in the growth, the expense growth, and then there are other streams of revenue other than property tax and. Now, this doesn't take into effect the effect of equalization in 2 years, and it doesn't that you're gonna hit us up for 300,000 for software. Okay? I mean, just those two things alone could be 10 pennies. And that completely wrecks this.
Well, we don't have a crystal ball to see what that's gonna be either.
We can do a projection based on, we know what the assessment was this year, we know what it was the last time they did it, we could do a pretty good estimate, which we need to be crunching on right now. But the last thing right now, because we're in a hole, is don't take on more recurring, 2.5 pennies worth of recurring money right here, because as I told you last year, you can't shut that off. The only way you shut that off is you lay off people. And we're not gonna do that. So once you click it, it is there forever.
Well, I'm more likely to remove these two and me suffer instead of my people. But Michael, we handed you a piece of paper that everybody needs to have a look at. Action that the state just took. We have 30 days to get certain things reviewed. If we don't get them reviewed, they're approved. And so we start to get things in the city that you all don't want, but that we didn't, we are months. And there's one project right now, submitted in February, and we're legitimately just now getting the opportunity. You all are gonna be getting calls about those things,
Already happened.
already happening, like. I just need to speak up for my people, that, and for the citizens and the people that are gonna come here and do
Well, they're
business, that
generating
we are
revenue.
struggling.
They're
in that
generating
area.
revenue too in that department.
Yeah.
That department generates what they do.
But that's already calculated in.
I agree on the assistant manager funding, that's something I would like to, Kevin, have a better snapshot over the year goes, what that would, because I think I was a proponent of the assistant manager position or role. I would like to have a better, screenshot of what that looks like over the year, and then also if that's something that utilities can help us cover as well. That's really my only opinion on that one specifically.
I'm in agreement with that.
So what effect does that have if you take those out and leave the planning unit?
I think we need to leave the planning. I've been on the planning commission, I'm telling you, as many things and objects that's coming that way and has already, they need help.
And I can tell you, we would do our best to not post and hire that until we have had the time to look at our revenues, our permitting fees and all that, and, have a better plan for how we're gonna do it. I just hate to not have it in there, all knowing how bad we need it. So it wouldn't cost you the whole 100,000 because it'd probably be months before we got to it, but it is a recurring thing that would, I'm not gonna paint roses and rainbows.
It is what it is.
It does cost us down the line if we had it. It may not cost as much this year as the line item. It will not cost as much as line item, but it could cost way close to it.
Is that, I just don't know, do we outsource any of that? Do we have any third-party engineering that could potentially alleviate us from?
We are evaluating that. We're trying to get to, we struggle to find the time to get together an RFQ to go out and find these services because of you all know how many times something comes here and then goes back, and it comes here and then goes back. And they're making, they're part of making 6 agendas a month, and then doing the planning commission, doing the other. We are looking at it, we just haven't got there yet, because we're, what I would typically have my director doing that, he's shoveling the wheelbarrow full instead of standing back and watching everybody else work.
Any other discussion about the budget before we move on to, we're not voting on it yet?
Not voting on it yet, that was just
That's
information.
that's just discussion.
Sorry, guys,
So
that
you
was
can
just
be
information.
prepared to vote when it comes to, the next item for discussion.
And we would typically do this during a workshop. We didn't have the time by public requirements, by what we have to do to get this voted on. So we had to present a workshop type item in a meeting because we didn't have time to call a special meeting. We couldn't advertise it.
And we may have already,
Our apologies.
so we may have already got over into the 2026 property tax rate discussion.
We have.
So it's recommended, the certified tax rate of 0.7902, which you saw in there.
Which before reappraisal, what was that?
1.19.
1.19?
So any other discussion about that? Okay, we'll go to the pay classification plan. Is that also kind of been discussed as well?
Yeah, it just, at this point, it includes those things.
Yeah. It
You can
includes the
instruct us that-
manager's positions.
Yeah. So if you approve the budget with those things in it, we can, but ask us to take certain things out. We can satisfy the requirement to have 2 readings and a vote. You all could pass it. We could bring it back with the changes that you're asking
Second
for
reading.
and for the second reading and be okay. So, just know that if you ask us to put something in or take something out of the budget, you can pass it this time and then make sure that it's how you want it whenever we bring for the second reading. But we have to have 2 readings and we have to have them before the end of the fiscal year. So we're in a crunch.
And I may need, Attorney Fry's advice on the pay classification plan, how we amend that on the fly, because that one's a resolution.
That will only have 1 reading, so
Yeah.
we'll need to, any changes that need to be made to the pay classification plan tonight will need to be in the form of a motion to approve.
All right.
So we
then-
can amend it and bring it back for approval next month if that's what's appropriate, or they can amend it on the fly. Okay.
Are we ready to move on to motion?
So,
Okay, I need to read, this is determination of the 2026 certified tax rate. Before the city may adopt the actual property tax rate for 2026, council must first officially determine the certified tax rate for the city of Loudon as it's calculated through the assessor's office and provided in accordance with the State Board of Equalization certified tax rate compliance requirements. This action does not adopt the final property tax. The actual property tax rate must be adopted by ordinance and requires 2 readings under the city charter. If council determines that a property tax in excess of the certified tax rate, which is .7902, is necessary to fund the proposed budget, council must direct staff to publish the required notice of public hearing and proceed with all required certified tax rate compliance steps before final adoption of the tax rate ordinance. In that event, the required public hearing notice will be published between first and second readings of the ordinance. Council should make a motion to officially determine the 2026 certified tax rate for the city of Loudon as calculated through the assessor's office and provided in accordance with State Board of Equalization certified tax rate compliance requirements. So, we need a motion to adopt the certified tax rate,
A motion to determine the certified tax rate.
okay?
So that's,
And that tax rate.
is that talking about what we just talked about? So if we wanted to put 2 pennies, 4 pennies. or
No, this is the certified, this is this .7904.
.7902.
Oh, two.
Yeah, this is just, this is,
Then it'll come later if you want to raise
right,
it.
this is just kind of,
I'll second it.
housekeeping. Yeah, there we go.
Okay, we have a motion and a second, and I had to read that, just so you know, there's steps that the state requires and that kind of thing.
Okay, thank you.
Clarification, please. Motion by Councilmember Newman, second by Councilmember Cardwell.
Right.
Thank you.
And we can take we don't have to have a roll call vote for that. Okay, any questions about that? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, now ordinance on second reading to amend the zoning ordinance, City of Loudon, amending chapter 4 zoning districts by amending section 14203, 14408, 14409, and 14607 regarding record service and record service storage yards in M1 and M2 zoning districts. Do I have a motion to
I'll make a
approve this?
motion to accept it.
Have a motion to approve on second reading. Do I have a- Okay, have a motion second. Any questions? Roll call, please.
Vice Mayor Dixon,
Aye.
Councilmember Ridings,
Yes.
Councilmember Cardwell,
yes.
Councilmember Newman.
Aye.
Mayor Harris.
Aye.
Thank you.
All right, now we have several first reading ordinances. First one is amending the zoning map of the city of Loudon, Tennessee pursuant to 137203, 137204 to rezone property located at 1625 Monterey Drive, tax map 031, parcel 071 from C3, which is local business district, to M1 light industrial district. We discussed this at the workshop. I guess, is there a motion?
I'll make a motion to accept.
Can we have a motion to have a second? To approve the rezoning,
I'll second, just to be
okay? From
Discussion.
C3 to M1. We have a motion and a second, now discussion.
Do we know what they wanna do with this property that they can't do that's currently C3?
I think it's warehousing.
Warehouse,
Okay,
Greg Alshon,
Okay, awesome.
warehousing.
Warehousing, okay.
We don't have any tenants yet.
Gotcha.
So get rezoned and then put warehousing in, spec things.
and I think it's M1 around it as well, isn't it?
Yes.
Yeah.
What's the property bid? Is it all in around it? I know there's a couple of properties there around it too.
It's right here in your,
It's in there somewhere. Okay, what are the white zones? Do we know what those are? It's out of curiosity.
I think the white might be residential, isn't it? Agricultural, I'm not real sure.
Gotcha. Okay.
see, this is Tennessee National over here.
Do we know, so my big primary concern of mine is, warehousing, semi-truck traffic going up Tennessee National Drive, and I guess, what would you call it? Barriers for where the tree lines,
Berms.
berms maybe.
Screening.
Screening is the correct word, there you go. Do we have any idea what those two may look like?
I can't control the traffic.
Right.
I don't know how you do that with the industrial park there, except for signage.
Yep.
As far as the berm, I've talked to Tennessee National, and told them I'd be happy to, look at a berm situation and screen it with them.
Okay.
Within reason.
Gotcha.
When we got ready, they seemed to be fine with that.
Okay.
But no, we don't have any design plans at this point, we're just trying to get rezoned for that.
Rezone and looking for.
It's
And then, of course, we'll have to come back with, plans that
The
y'all have,
planning commission.
y'all have approved.
We talked about in the workshop about, is there a way to limit traffic to keep it on Monterey Drive and not coming off on the Tennessee National? Do we look into that anymore?
We can look into that. I think that would be a legal question that we could look into during site plan review. To answer the question about vegetative buffer or screening, that would be required in this district between the industrial and residential use.
Well, where the Tennessee National Drive is that PDD? Is that different from residential?
It's, it is, so it's a mixed use. What's immediately adjacent to there is residential. That's really Tennessee National Boulevard. And to the north, you were asking about the zoning. To the north, it's actually county, zoned A1. And to the south, it's city, vacant, M1. East is industrial, as the applicant was stated.
I'm sorry, can you go over that again? Which part? So the white ones?
That's county agricultural.
County A1.
And then on the other side of Tennessee National Drive there, that's Monterey Mushroom.
M2.
That's all.
Yeah, M2. What's the
That's
all
That's
M1
all
right there?
Yeah. I bet most people use Monterey Drive, but I don't know. That's
If there's a way to limit the traffic, to keep it from going on to Tennessee National Drive, would be a caveat I'd like to see put in there.
Yeah, I mean, I think our exit coming back on to Monterey is left turn only.
Oh, yeah. I can see that being the most used road.
As well as the entrance into it could be rolled into the right, so you're kind of forced to not make a hard right turn to go
Exactly.
back.
Is Tennessee National Drive up to the gate, is that a city street?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So we can control that if we wanted to. We could say no trucks. Correct?
If you wanted to prohibit any other type of delivery to Tennessee
To
National.
Tennessee National.
I think
I mean, we can say other than deliveries.
You got build
I've seen
houses.
that.
I
You
just,
got build houses.
I just think it's something we'd have to further study because there's a lot of truck traffic going into Tennessee National.
Especially with building, things that are.
Right.
And you got the food trucks going to the
A lot of
restaurant,
trucks
they're all
going in
that.
there.
So that means you're gonna check into it, right?
Yes.
Okay, thanks.
So we have a motion and a second. Any other questions? To approve from C3 to M1? No other questions? Roll call, please.
Vice Mayor Dixon,
Aye.
Councilmember Newman,
Aye.
Councilmember Cardwell,
Aye.
Councilmember Ridings,
Yes.
Mayor Harris.
Aye.
Thank you.
All right, thank you, sir.
Thank you all.
Now amending the 2025-2026 fiscal year budget. Melissa Huskin has recommended attached budget amendments. We have that to kind of align them appropriately with expenditures. As anticipated. Do we have a motion? Do you need to say something about it first?
I just want to say, since your workshop, I have added the debt payoff
Okay.
that was discussed at the workshop to this budget amendment.
The 900-something thousand to free up the 140,000 a month debt service.
That's
I
the
wish
only
we
difference.
I'm
Yeah, I mean,
sorry.
a year.
Yeah.
That's the only difference.
Yes.
I'll make the motion.
Okay, do we have a second?
Second.
Motion and second to amend the fiscal year budget with the budget amendments that's attached. Any questions? Roll call, please.
Vice Mayor Dixon.
Aye.
Councilmember Newman.
Aye.
Councilmember Cardwell.
Aye.
Councilmember Ridings.
Yes.
Mayor Harris.
Aye.
Thank you.
Now, the next one is setting the tax rate for 2026. The proposed first reading ordinance setting the 2026 property tax rate has been prepared with a blank for the tax rate, so council may determine the rate based on the budget discussion we previously had. Council should first make a motion to insert the desired tax rate into the ordinance, followed by a second and a roll call vote. Once the rate is inserted, council should then consider a separate motion to approve the ordinance on first reading, followed by a second and a roll call vote. If the rate inserted exceeds the certified tax rate, staff will then publish the required notice of a public hearing between first and second readings and complete all required certified tax rate compliance steps before final adoption, because it's a tax increase. That's why we have to do that. Okay, so I guess since it's blank, somebody needs to recommend what they think the tax rate.
So is this going back to what we just went through?
The certified tax rate was 0.7902, so it's that, or
If you don't wanna do your own math, you can just throw out a number and someone will do the math for you.
I like that 3.98 that you come up with. It's close to, that makes it an even number. Am I not correct? Am I correct, 3.98? Like I said, we sat here in this workshop last 2 weeks, and made arguments for why we need to pay our staff, and I don't know. I don't think it'd be responsible for me to say pay our staff and then not find the money to pay our staff. So I guess I'd make a motion that we set it at 3.98 rate.
What is it now?
So the motion would be to
raise it
insert
3.
83
yes,
Yeah, 0.83.
0.83 into
to
the
the
ordinance.
0.7902 to get to the 3.98.
Correct. Okay.
So the motion is to, wait, how much it was, 80,
83.
83.
83.
0.83.
0.83.
83 cents.
So is there a second to that motion? Okay, and we'll ask again, is there a second to add 0.83 to the certified tax rate?
I'll second it to get it to discussion.
Okay, we're at discussion.
And, again, just, I guess I made my point now, just that, I know there's no good time to add a tax increase. As a taxpayer, I'd love to get rid of property tax altogether. Looking at a budget, trying to be responsible for the city of Loudon, the city of Loudon budget, I think it's the best thing we can do to get the ball rolling. What's to be operating at a deficit, and it doesn't fix where we're gonna be, where we're going. It just starts moving that staircase there. So it's not the popular thing. I think it's the hard thing that's gotta be done though.
I'll echo off that we can't have another year that we decide to buy things, expend money, and not pay for it. In the past 5 years, we've had 1 year that we had enough income to cover everything without either going in debt, borrowing money, or using fund balance. That was 24. And then we promptly spent 12 cents last year, didn't pay for it, and we're spending all the pennies right there. So you gotta have the courage to step up, and like Eric said, you can't fund everything and not pay for it. And the sooner you do it, the easier it will be on the taxpayers. Every day you wait makes it harder and harder. Small changes over time make a big difference.
Yeah, I can't support it this year. I hear what you're saying, postpone it, but I just think the timing is not, I can't support it, but now I'm gonna vote, so.
I agree that sometime we do need to raise the taxes. But I think at this time, we raise the county taxes, increase of everything that hit everybody. I just don't think right now it's a good time to do it.
And I mean, I agree, you know, but next year, we can make the same argument. That's not a good time to do it. And that, cause I mean, again, I agree, the
We've been making-
reassessment, everything.
We've been making this a couple of years now, so.
And I'd say from the reassessment, you know, you go from 119 down to 79, it does seem like the best time to absorb the increase.
Well, you got, I mean, people's property values will increase, so
Right.
it's supposed to be
Yeah.
revenue neutral.
It's gonna be increased anyway.
Yep.
But we don't have to increase it even more. We're
Again,
pulling out of our fund balance less now than we pulled out last year.
I'd have to see that number if that's a true statement or not. Last year, we hit it for, we hired enough people to eat up 12 pennies of property tax that we didn't raise. We had a surplus of 1.5 million going into the year, and we ate it up. And so, like I said, we're not just trying to pay for this year's spending, we're paying for last year's spending that we didn't do. And we think we're making it easier on the taxpayers. All we're doing is we're delaying the pain, and we're making it worse. The patient's not getting any better. And if you give them a little bit of medicine now, it'll save a lot of pain and a lot of medicine later. Delay doesn't help. Like I said, it actually makes the patient sicker and worse. Problem doesn't get any better. $800,000 in the hole.
Again, I guess the math I'm doing is, you know, 1 penny on a 400,000 is $10 a year. Now, if you have a, you know, there's gonna be more higher appraised houses than $400,000, but for $40 or $50 for over the course of the year, you know, I'm drawing a direct line from saying I'm paying $40 a year, and that direct correlation is going to our COLA that pays for all of our employees, and then our public safety.
But keep in mind, that's based on $400,000 house.
Correct, yeah, hey, I know not everything's $400,000, you know, so, but again, just kind of breaking it down, it's $50 for a $500,000 house, and so on. So that's kind of what my thought is on it, and that's why I'm willing to absorb it.
Okay.
But-
Do we have a motion and a second? Can you have anything before we vote? Okay, so the motion is, so that basically the tax rate would be 3.98.
The tax rate would be 83.83,
Okay.
an increase of 3.986. 3.98 pennies, 4 pennies basically.
Yeah, I'll wait for it.
So, yeah, the tax rate would be 0.83 instead of 0.792.
0.0792.
Correct.
So you go to 0.83.
0.83.
Okay,
73 cents.
is that correct?
It's 3 cents and not 3, yeah,
That's 3.
3.98, yeah. It's 4 cents basically, 4 pennies.
Okay, roll call please.
Councilmember Newman.
Aye.
Councilmember Cardwell.
Aye.
Vice Mayor Dixon.
No,
Councilmember Ridings.
No.
Mayor Harris.
No.
Okay, 2-3.
So now do we need to adopt?
Yes.
So we need another motion to set the tax rate at something.
That's something, not that. So is there a motion to set it at,
I'll make a motion, we set it at 4.792.
Second.
0.07902?
Yes.
The certified tax rate.
The certified tax rate.
Got some.
Have a motion and a second to set the tax rate at 0.07902.
I'm sorry, it's
Point
0.792.
Not
It's
0.06.
79.02 cents.
I thought it said 0.07.
No, this is oh,
I can say 792.
Okay, 0.7902. Have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Okay, roll call please.
All right, Vice Mayor Dixon.
Aye.
Councilmember Ridings.
Yes.
Councilmember Cardwell.
No.
Councilmember Newman.
No.
Mayor Harris.
Aye.
Thank you, 3-2.
Okay, anything else about that?
So now we have to do the ordinance on first reading with that as the certified tax rate.
Okay.
That was just to insert the blank.
You just filled the blank, now you gotta second to adopt the ordinance with the.
And that's not on here as well. Yeah, it is, okay.
Let me get clear.
So are we talking about number 4 now on there? An ordinance?
No, we're still on the tax rate.
Number 3. It's an ordinance within an
You
ordinance.
had 3A and B.
It's,
The ordinance had a blank in it, so you all filled the blank and now you're adopting
Yeah,
it,
now
now
we're
it's not the
adopting it.
blank field, yes. We tried to make all this as confusing as possible.
Okay, so, fill in the blank on the tax rate of .7902. Is there a motion to approve that ordinance?
I make a motion to approve.
Okay. Motion is second. Any discussion?
Just a quick question.
Yeah.
Because we still have to approve the budget, that's correct?
Mm-hmm.
Are we looking, are we looking to make cuts to that budget to make this, are we we headed towards being okay with the deficit of $800,000 or?
That's what we'll be approving, yeah.
Right, and that's, or are we looking to,
Unless, like
Trim
Kevin
some
said,
fat
let's take
somewhere on
some of
that.
that out,
okay,
you know.
I was curious whether,
Yeah, that's
the intention, I guess.
confusing, yeah.
Yep.
Okay, we have a motion and a second to approve the resolution or ordinance?
Ordinance on first reading to set the tax rate.
.7902. We have a motion and a second, any other questions? Roll call, please.
Vice Mayor Dixon,
Aye.
Councilmember Ridings,
Yes.
Councilmember Cardwell,
No,
Councilmember Newman,
No.
Mayor Harris.
Aye.
Thank you, 3-2.
Okay, now we've got one more ordinance on first reading to talk about. An ordinance City of Loudon, Tennessee adopting the annual budget for the fiscal year beginning July 1st, 2026, ending June 30th, 2027. Draft 2, as we've seen, is in our packet. This ordinance may be amended between first and second reading, so we could approve it tonight and then make changes.
You can approve it with changes you wanna see as part of the motion, and we'll bring it back with those changes. Yes, sir.
Okay. Okay, so I have a motion to approve the ordinance adopting the annual budget for the fiscal year 26 and 27.
I'll make a motion.
Okay, do I have a second?
Second.
Motion and second. Any questions? And
Do we want to go back and look at the checkbox of the positions?
certainly you can.
Um,
I can bring that.
All those right there?
Can we bring it on the screen, or you got it on your paper?
Um,
I think I gotta bring it on the screen, I don't think you got a paper.
because,
This is the discussion part you mentioned as far as the
Right.
budget.
so, again, just, we got the checkboxes he has, the assistant manager, funding,
Okay, anything that is said right here has to be in the form of an amendment, right?
No, I don't think on this.
Yes.
Can that be in the form of an
Okay,
amendment?
yeah.
it's
Amendment to that.
Motion.
Yeah, because we may need.
So you vote on the amendment first,
Yep.
then?
May I, excuse me. This is one of the only ordinances that I can change between first and second reading. So I would like for you to I would ask that you adopt the budget as presented on first reading. However, direct us what you would like to see change between first and second reading.
And you would make that direction by amending the pay classification plan?
Yes.
So basically what Melissa's at, you can discuss it all now, or you can discuss it in a minute, but what she's asking for is once a consensus forms around these 4 decision points, which I think those are really the only decision points that are left at this point, that you pass the budget on first reading and then make a motion to pass the resolution adopting amending the pay classification plan to, because all of these are currently included in the pay classification plan that is in your packet.
It looks like this right now.
So you'd have to amend it. If you wanted to take anything out, you gotta amend it.
But,
But
The next
but do the amendment on
okay.
the next, but I go ahead and have the discussion now, but just note that
Pass it.
she's asking that it get a clean passage on.
First reading.
First reading,
Okay.
and then fix
Then you
it,
can amend it.
and you'll have a clean version on second reading, based on the decisions that are made here tonight.
So is there a motion to approve the ordinance on first reading?
I'll make a motion,
We've
we
got-
approve.
Yeah, we've
We
got
got that
first
already,
and
motion,
second.
but,
Mhm.
okay. All right, any other questions?
Just, last thing I want to say is, you're seeing a $2.3 million deficit. Now, that's just for that year, that's not cumulative. And that equates to 36-cent tax increase to cover just that 1 year. And if you then try to break that over the next 5 years, that's 7.3 pennies per year to try to make up that deficit.
Break even in 2030.
Just to try to break, to fill that gap. And so you're about to adopt a budget that's gonna put us on a path that is gonna be extremely hard to come out of if you don't make a slight change now. And we just added in another 2.5 pennies, and that's 2.5 pennies forever inflated at 5% after that. It's not a one-time shot, guys. That's that big green line right there you see heading down to the bottom. I just want you to, the impact of waiting. 7.3 cents just to catch up, guys.
Well, we've already set the tax rate.
I know, but we can also cut back on the budget.
So is there, we have a motion and a second. Any other discussion on the budget? First reading. Okay, roll call, please.
Vice Mayor Dixon, Councilmember Ridings,
Okay, I have a personal interest that I'm required to disclose before I make a vote because my wife is a half-time city employee. That does not affect my decision on this at all. These people sitting in the back is what affects my decision. So my vote's yes.
Councilmember Cardwell,
No.
Councilmember Newman.
Aye.
Mayor Harris.
Aye.
4-1.
Okay, so all those first readings, we'll set, public hearing for the first one at 6:05, second one at 6:10, third one at 6:15, fourth one at 6:25. That would be on June 22nd.
22nd, thank you, sir.
All right. Now we're into resolutions. First one is authorizing the sale of certain property in Center 75 Business Park and the execution of related sales documents. This is the local drive-in theater property. We discussed it at the workshop. Is there a motion to approve resolution? Okay, we have a motion. Do we have a second?
Second.
Harry. Vice Mayor Dixon. Okay, any discussion or questions about it?
Who was first and second, I'm sorry?
Harry and Tim.
Emotion, that's it.
Okay.
Any discussion? Okay, all in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. Next one is authorizing interlocal cooperation agreement with Loudon County Emergency Communications District. We discussed this, I guess, for a couple of months. You see the request that was, requested by the 911 director,
I'll make a motion to accept.
and that is in the budget, correct?
Yes.
That we just, okay.
Second.
Motion is second. Any questions?
Yes.
Okay.
Has this ever been voted on by the council before? Has it always been signed by the city manager?
We always vote on it every year.
Yep.
Every year?
I
We
think so.
voted on this last year.
At
The 10,000, the 10,000.
Yeah.
You voted on the budget, not the MOU.
That's what I'm saying, the MOU.
It changed this year, so that's what, I think that's what we're voting on.
I thought the city manager always signed the vote. Not the council.
Well, the council's given
But
someone
having
the
the
authority to
authorization.
sign it, so we're giving him the authorization to sign it.
Okay.
We're not signing it.
Good question. Anything else? Anybody? Discussion? We have a motion and second. Okay, all those in favor say aye. Any opposed?
Abstain.
One abstain, okay. Next one is amend the pay classification plan. So these, is what's incorporated in draft number 2 that we just talked about. So here's where I guess if we want to amend that, we take
Y'all
some of
want that
those.
chart back?
Yeah. Here's what we have to do.
Oops.
We can redraft before it's. Basically.
Is that those two things?
So we all wanted to check out?
The assistant manager funding and the director adjustments.
And just so to clarify, well, I guess should I get this, should we get the discussion first?
Mhm.
Is that a motion?
Wait, do we have a motion?
I didn't hear a motion.
No,
I have not heard a motion.
We have a motion to amend the pay classification plan. We have a motion to say, then we can discuss the.
I'd just like to put, it's section 7 and section 8 in your packet, if you want to look at those, and then.
What's included in the?
You have the right packet?
It's this one.
Oh, okay.
It's near the end.
Don't you know it's got like, lifeguard raises and,
Yeah, very near the end.
that's it. So you can see the, in engineering planning, the person that was added.
The first page. Right.
No, it's this one. You can see the effect on the budget there.
Section 7, section
Section 7 is at the bottom of one page, section 8 is at the top of the next.
See section 7? Yeah, section 7 there, and section 8.
Public safety is on section 1, and the engineering and planning assistant is on the first page also.
I think the one that I just have a little, that I prefer to wait on is the assistant manager funding at this time. I don't mind the $20,000 allocation, because I know our department heads are strained already. So I don't necessarily mind that allocation, but on the assistant manager funding, that's one I'd like to have a more clear plan and path, coming into that, and see if that's something that, you know, if the LUB, if utilities, it makes sense to be able to draw that funding from utilities, or it makes the most sense to do it from the city, because utilities doesn't necessarily have the budget constraints we have right now.
I would be not telling you the truth if I didn't tell you that those two kind of go together.
I do.
The idea was,
Yeah.
if I promoted somebody within to an assistant to me, then the others were gonna have to probably take on other things. And so I was gonna be able
Take
to,
out both of them.
yeah, so, I mean, I hate
Take
to be
out
the one
one,
that
you gotta
complains
take out
about what I did, but
Right.
it wouldn't be right
I
to
got
leave one without the other.
I appreciate that.
So they go hand in hand, basically.
I got you. So do we need to make a motion to amend those out of the budget? Is that what we're doing right now?
Out of the pay class.
Okay.
Or just a motion to adopt the plan classification plan with, insert your amendment here.
Removing those or whatever.
I make the motion that Chris just
I'll second that.
Adopt the pay classification plan with removing section 7 and
said. Yes.
Okay, there's a motion and a second to approve the pay classification plan as presented with the exception of eliminating section 7 and 8.
And renumbering as applicable.
Yes.
Thank you.
So are we voting on removing them?
Yes. From the,
That's the vote.
No, this is on
adopting the
the,
plan.
this is on the whole pay classification plan.
Or can it be worded that we're voting to remove them? Only. This is an
That's-
amendment to it.
No, the motion was to approve the whole thing with just those two amended, so. There's a motion and a second right now. If there's something else,
If there's something else that's questioned, now's the time to bring it up before we vote.
Well, I think we should just vote on removing something.
That's
That's what we're.
what they're saying. Remove
It's
section
like a
7.
different category, you wanna remove something
Okay,
else?
well, we're
That's what I
voting on
thought.
the whole classification plan
With
with
the-
those
Those
removed.
two.
right,
Yes.
Can we
Let's
not
make
just
another-
vote on removing those two and then vote on the pay classification plan?
What else,
Put it in the
what else
same
would we
motion.
like to remove, could we put it in the same motion?
Nothing, I'm just saying we need to vote on those two.
So,
I
it's
think
all the
it's all
same,
motion.
unless there's something else you wanna remove, it's all the same.
You're adopting it with those changes.
So, yeah, we're accepting the changes.
But
The
everybody
exceptions.
might not accept those changes, so I think we need to vote just on those changes.
We can-
Then, the plan,
Well,
with those move or stay.
if the motion fails, then we're back to the square one.
No, we're just voting to remove those. Not the whole plan yet.
Kenny, I'm sorry, Councilmember, right, are you suggesting that since the motion and second, I'm just trying to understand where we are, since the motion and second were made to adopt the whole plan, are you asserting that you believe there needs to be an amendment to the motion to accept the whole plan, except those two things? Is that what you're,
Okay, no,
Okay.
no. I think that we need to have a vote to exclude something, then vote on the plan that is excluded or the same.
Well, his motion was to
I'm
approve it.
for the plan as a total. I'm not for removing things.
oh, you're wanting to leave those two things in?
Yes.
Okay, I'm following you now. My apologies.
So,
Then did you just vote you'd vote no?
With-
And then if-
but I'm voting no on all these
You're
guys.
not
I'm
voting
not
no,
gonna
you
do
vote
that.
no on the amendment, and
you
if
wouldn't be
if
voting
that
no.
motion fails, then you make a new motion that says we would like to adopt the pay classification as is.
Okay, that's what I just said. Can we just vote on that as an amendment?
You
I don't
could
know if
make
we
an
can.
amendment. He could make an amendment to his motion to leave those in.
You gotta vote on one before you make another.
you would have to get them to withdraw their motion, and then you could make your,
He could make a motion, to amend the
To amend
motion
it,
as it
yeah.
is, and then if it doesn't get a second, then it fails.
Yeah, I mean, basically, that's what I'm saying.
I don't think that's gonna accomplish what he, but
We've already got a first and a second. That has to be voted on, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Unless you.
But a vote no for it is a vote no for the whole, plan. I don't want that.
I don't think it is a vote no for the whole plan. Again, if my motion fails, that's when we come back, the plan's still a plan.
It would in essence be a vote against the whole plan,
It is.
however, there would have to be another
And I don't want to do
motion
that.
made in a different way we couldn't not pass a pay classification plan, like, there's a few different Robert's ways of
Chris, could he not
slicing
amend
this.
You can't amend an amendment. It has to be voted on first.
and then?
You
vote on
can
the
abstain this vote and see what happens on the next one, I guess, I don't know.
yeah,
It doesn't pass.
No, because I want to vote for them, for the employees.
but here,
I don't know.
I'm voting, what I want to put out is just the two hypothetical positions,
Right.
not what we're already going to give
Right,
them.
not the whole thing. That's-
Well, then everybody knows your intention when you vote, I guess.
I'll make that clear about him.
Right, yeah, I don't know.
Chris,
I don't know how to fix it, other than for Eric and
they'd have to
yeah,
withdraw the
sorry,
motions.
Councilmember Newman. Withdraw the motion and then make a motion to remove just those two items.
So
Before we,
your intent is you'd like to approve it without those two items, correct?
No, with those.
You want to add those back in?
Yes.
Oh, okay. So you want to approve the plan as is?
As is.
Okay.
His amendment is
so you could
full,
make your motion and we could vote on that first.
That's,
but there's already a motion on the table.
Right, but yeah, I don't know if they want to withdraw their motion or not.
Do you want to withdraw your motion?
No, I'm not ready to vote.
Okay, so we'll vote. I mean, we got a motion and a second. So we have to deal with that. So I think everybody understands your intent, Kenny, you know, you have to vote.
They made the motion first.
Yeah, I mean,
Well, I'm not gonna vote no against the employees. So,
okay.
you've
so-
got me in the corner here.
Well, like I say, a motion is made, and that's on the floor. They're not willing to amend it, so we have to deal with it.
So I can make another motion next month on this. Pull that back in.
Not on this one, I don't think. This is not a first and second reading.
It will not be on the agenda.
This is a resolution, not an ordinance.
See, it should be an amendment, not the whole plan. Amendment to remove those two, not the whole plan.
Okay? All those, we gotta deal with this motion seconds on the floor. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Any opposed?
No.
Okay, so 4-1.
4-1, motion carries. The pay classification plan is approved as amended by striking section 7 and 8.
And 8. Okay,
I think everybody misunderstood what I was trying to do there.
I think we know now what next one is authorizing the city manager to negotiate and enter into an agreement with Athens Insurance Agency for insurance brokerage services. So, Manager Jones, I'll turn it over to you.
Okay, Chris, if you want to come up, I've got Athens Insurance, the representative here, for us to answer any questions that you all would have. I think, I don't want to beat a dead horse and keep you all for a long, long time and repeat everything I said earlier on the reasons for why we believe this is a legitimate, well done and right done process. I will, as Councilman Riley said earlier, I will disclose that, and I did not before, because I didn't, any of you all or any of the staff that was scoring, I didn't want any of those people swayed by any past experience I have with Athens Insurance. So I will tell you that McMinn County Schools is insured by Athens Insurance, and my former employer, Athens Utilities Board, was insured by Athens Insurance. I do not think it is a negative thing for your manager to use their network and previous experiences in making decisions. But I will tell you that none of those things had sway in my decision to recommend. I also have a cousin that works for an arm of Athens Insurance. Again, that does not sway my decision. It's a cousin that's several years older than me, and I see once ever so often. Like it's not a close relation. But I just do want to put those things on the table so nobody can accuse me. My wife says be above reproach, and so I try to do what she says as often as possible. You all have the paper that has the justification. The request for qualifications went out. They came back, they were scored by many of our employees. Athens Insurance came out on the top of all those scores. They have quite a large staff with multiple different employees that do several different things, and I'll let Chris talk about some of those. 1,500 accounts, 95 years experience, 1,500 plus accounts. Deal with police, fire, large construction companies, several municipal utilities, several cities and counties. There's just a large presence in the world that we're in. And on top of that, in-house, they provide some other things. Chris, I'll let you kind of speak to all that and answer any questions they might have.
Mr. Mayor, thank you for the opportunity
Thank you, Chris. Thanks for being
to speak to you guys. Just a little bit about Athens Insurance and myself. We've been in business since 1931. Obviously, we're located in downtown Athens, Tennessee. We have a big footprint in this area between Knoxville, Chattanooga, Roane County up that way. I've been in the business 31 years. I've been doing public entity business for the last 20 plus years. I learned a lot of that from my father, who was in the insurance business for 50 years. And so I've taken his knowledge and wisdom and carried that forward and grown that sector of business for myself and for our agency. Some things that Athens Insurance can do for the city of Loudon is we have our own in-house loss control person. He is certified in OSHA and TOSHA training. He can also do first aid training. He can also do CPR and the AED machine. So that's a service that we provide at no charge to all of our clients. He also does some mock audits for OSHA and TOSHA. So I know you all currently do some of those, you're audited, I guess, by OSHA. He can come in here and help your departments to be ready for those audits when they get here so that you don't have any issues. We also have a service that we provide to all of our accounts, not just public entity, but it's a human resource development policies and procedures that can help your HR department here at the city. We use that, like I say, with not only public entity accounts, but contractors, manufacturers, you name it. We try to help them with those challenges. Typically on an account this size, our agency charges somewhere between 9–10%. Currently, we have decided that we would probably be somewhere around 6 or 7% on that current fee. So just throw that out there for what it's worth. Like I say, been in the business 31 years. Some of the claims that I have seen, the city manager pointed that out. I've been with a sheriff when he's had to pull a deputy out of a river. That was in a very unfortunate situation. I've also been with a county mayor and a city manager that their courthouse is caught on fire. I have been with a utility district manager where he had a lineman get electrocuted and almost died. So I've seen some of these claims and I've been there with them. I don't work from 8 to 5. That's one thing my father taught me. I'm on call 24/7. So if the city needs me, if I get a call from Kevin Goins or one of your senior management say, hey, we got a problem, I'm going to be here. So that's just something that I provide to our clients. Also something, and I don't know if you're taking advantage of this or not, but the Tennessee Risk Management Trust offers a safety grant to all of its clients. Like I say, I don't know if you guys are taking advantage of that or not, but some of our clients who have taken advantage of that have had enough money to purchase vests for their police officers. They've had turnout gear for the firemen. So a lot of great things that safety grant can provide to your employees to help them be safer when they're on their job. So I don't want to bore you anymore with that details, but I'll be happy to try to answer any questions that you may have of me or our team at Athens.
Any questions from council? Okay. Thank you, Chris.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so what's the pleasure of council? Do I have a motion to approve or authorize the city manager to enter negotiations with a new brokerage firm?
I'll make a motion.
I'll second.
Do I have a motion second? Any more discussion?
Just questions for the manager. When did this process start?
Started, excuse me, it started in roughly December, January, and starting to put together the RFQ. It went out more, I think, end of March, and I'm don't remember exactly, but I believe that's right. Was expected back at the end of April, so that we could score them and have enough time to bring you at the May workshop a recommendation. I would have liked to have had it out a month sooner. Health things caused me not to be able to get that done, but it was communicated that it was going out, and I had indicated that sometime back in that time frame that the RFQs were going out. I had sent an email and let everybody know that you were going to see an RFQ go on the website, and this is what it was about.
Okay. And also just let the board know, this was voted on at the, utility board and it passed 4-1.
And we are both under the same umbrella of coverage at this time.
Who is this city?
Carlin.
Any other questions or comments? I mean, I think it's been brought up about the time frame. Appreciate you asking that, so we can see when it started, but I think it does seem like we're within that short time window right now, to approve this, so. And
We
basically,
know
it
that
doesn't
the
change.
coverage is staying the same
Yeah.
at least for a year, but we will be able to work on what it is that you all want to see out of that. And I will tell you that senior staff held an interview and unanimously said they thought this was a solid move. for
And that
the
was the
city.
other part I was gonna ask, for clarity, how many people scored this
There were
and who were they?
8, I believe, that scored it, and then we ran it through an AI engine just to see how it compared to what we scored. We had our city engineer, Michael Hogan, our Parks and Recreation Director, our water and wastewater distribution. We had our city recorder, the city manager, and the general manager happens to be the same person. I only scored it once. And I'm having trouble recalling all, but we had I think 1 council member, and a couple more. There was 8 in total.
8 total.
Yeah. And that was all
And
senior
they're
staff.
basing their scoring on qualifications.
Yeah, this is totally qualifications based. We're not looking at anything other than qualifications. Which is how engineering services, architectural services, we were looking at building a building and things like that. These are professional services. The state mandates that we go out and put out RFQ to qualify, to look at qualifications in professional services.
I'll ask this question, I don't know if there's an answer, but since we're under the same umbrella, if we do something different than the utility board, what is that?
My assumption is it would fail until there was consent from both bodies.
Any other questions, comments? Okay, all in favor of authorizing the city manager to negotiate these, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
No.
No. So 3-2.
52.
Okay. Next is a resolution authorizing the prepayment of the city's general obligation capital outlay notes.
Motion to approve.
Okay, have a motion to approve, we know what this is.
Second.
So this is coming out of this year's budget.
Correct.
Okay. All right, any questions? All in favor say aye. Any opposed? Okay. Down to the end here, fuel quote comparisons. May 14th, the low quote for the purchase of fuel was received from Rogers Petroleum for the projected amount of $31,910.50. Low sulfur, well, that was the whole amount, $31,910.50. That was to Rogers Petroleum, just for information. Appointments, I am appointed, Ham Carey, as some of you may know, he's retiring after 60s, Michael, do you 60 plus years, around 60 years of planning commission? Look back.
1961, approximately, I think he came on board.
Very first planning commission.
Very first,
We will be recognizing him in a future city council meeting for his, as an appreciation. But I've appointed Rachel Rendon. She couldn't be here tonight. Her mother had a medical kind of emergency, had to run to Nashville, take care of. She'll be taking Mr. Carey's place for the balance of his term, which goes to 2028, I think.
Thanks.
So that's the appointment. She wanted to be here tonight, but she could not make that. Department reports, Director of Public Safety, Mr. Brubecker, we'll start with you.
Got the report, Mayor.
One thing I wanted to just mention to you, Anthony is doing a great job with overgrown yards, and, I mean, it's not a popular thing when he shows up and tells people their grass is too high or this and that, but everyone I've talked to him about, he's already done it, I already sent him a letter, got him 10 days, but I'm telling you, he's doing a great job, so.
He even got us.
Well, hey, it's not a popular job, I'm telling you. When he shows up, it's usually trouble, you know, but he's doing fantastic. I just wanted to say that. Anybody that's Engineer Hogan, do you have anything, Michael?
No, sir, thank you.
Okay. Ramey?
The water park's open, so
Woo-hoo.
go swim, it's getting hot, and I sent you guys the report, so just, got any questions, let me know.
Okay. All right. Mr. Lovett, you have anything?
Not the report, sir.
Okay. How about you, Eddie, from the Beer Board, anything? Okay. Melissa, do you have anything else?
No, thank you, Mayor.
Okay. Manager Goins, do you have anything else for
No,
staff?
sir.
Okay. Councilmember reports, Councilmember Newman,
We've got a RAC meeting tomorrow night here at 5:30.
okay. RAC meeting tomorrow night, 5:30,
Yep.
just one spot, okay. Vice Mayor Dixon, Planning Commission,
There.
report,
Historic Zoning Commission had an application, for certificate of appropriateness for installation of a new commercial sign, handicap, accessible porch and ramp on the front of the building. Applicant property owner Jessica and Benjamin Kershaw, 800 Main Street, downtown. That was approved by the Historic Zoning Commission. Then another application for certificate for installation and new commercial signage. Applicant Timothy Hana something.
yeah,
I can't say it. Property owner, can't say that name. 310 Ward Street, is in downtown. That was approved also, that signage was. And then an application for certificate of appropriateness for residential rehabilitation. Applicant Barry McNabb, master drafters and drafting and design service. Property owner Carlos and Alma Gonzalez, 414 Angel Road. That was also approved by Historic Zoning. Application for certificate of appropriateness for the addition of the accessory structure to the property. Property owner Redskin Cafe, applicant J. Alawati, 700 Grove Street. That was also approved by the Historic Zoning. Now for the Loudon Regional Planning Commission, application 256, rezoning request from C3 Local Business District to M1 Light Industrial District, 705 Mulberry Street, applicant Greg Alshey, property owner Baker Brothers Partnership.
that address was wrong. That is actually the property owner's address.
Yeah.
Or is it okay?
It's supposed to be on 72.
So, they did it
That
wrong.
was, yeah, that was
Okay.
listed wrong.
Went on
That was,
Monterey.
that was approved by the Regional Planning
Mary
Commission.
Baker's address. Yeah.
That was all the regional. The Board of Zoning Appeals, we had applicant 253, 112 Smoky View, variance request, applicant requests deviation from section 14-605. Applicant is requesting a reduction in the requirement that the swimming pool area be walled and fenced from 5 feet to 4 feet. Applicant property owner Billy and Valerie Wilson. That was approved by the Board of Zoning Appeals. On that account, on that swimming pool there, the staff recommended that the planning BZA and motion to the staff to accept the 4-foot fence, so they accepted all that. Applicant 254, lot 86, Lighthouse Point subdivision, various requests. Applicant is requesting a deviation from section 14-404, reduce the minimum front yard depth 25 feet to 10 feet for a single-story home, or to 12 feet for a two-story home. Applicant property owner, Lighthouse Point Community Association. That was also approved. Applicant 257, 1044 Old Lee Highway, variance request. Applicant is requesting a variance from the terms of Philadelphia zoning ordinance, section 11-7-10 regarding the definition of yards. Applicant property owner Virginia Davis. That was also accepted. That motion was tabled,
Okay,
because the applicant was not
was
present.
not present, okay. All right.
That's all, Mayor.
Councilmember Cardwell?
The Loudon Utility Board met today at 4:30. They approved the negotiation, purchase, and installation of ERP and CIS software and services. They authorized the general manager to negotiate and enter into an agreement with Athens Insurance for insurance brokerage services. They approved a five-year software agreement with Loudon Systems for joint use software. They adopted a water capacity fee of $6,966 per residential unit. Let me take a second. Y'all might get a call on this.
That was
So-
wastewater, by the way, too.
Wastewater. So current wastewater hookup, if you want to hook up to sewer, is $700, is that correct?
Roughly.
And so that now went to $6,966. However, there are 123 residents in the city of Loudon, currently in the city limits, that do not have sewer. They were given a 12-month moratorium on that to be able, if they want to hook up before this new price kicks in.
So they
The
could hook
price
up
will-
for 700 still?
They could, for the normal price, and this will go into effect 1 July of '26. The 123 people will be 1 July of '27. Authorized task order 16 for Bard's Design Solutions for on-call water modeling support services. Authorized contract extension for mowing services with JM Mowing. Authorized a 2013 Chevrolet CTA to be considered surplus, and I believe it's going to the fire department, I believe. Approved operating budgets for 26-27, approved capital budget for 26-27, and established natural gas rates at 104. The Historic Preservation Advisory Committee met on May the 19th, and we went over the feedback from the historic survey. That's all I have.
I saw faces, so let me give a brief explanation on the wastewater capacity fee. Our intention is to create a situation where growth is paying for growth and we're not having to raise rates for pump stations, that kind of stuff. What we're hoping to accomplish is, as people come here and build homes or build developments, they are funding the stress that's getting put on our sewer system instead of having to do that through rates. So that's to protect our local.
Absolutely.
Ratepayers are not subsidizing
Yeah.
the growth.
But that was all that moratorium, we just
Yes.
said, we had 123, for some reason, they didn't get hooked up. We got a
Inside.
year to figure out why and to help them
Yeah,
out.
those are
Yeah.
inside the city limits, but
Yeah.
not on the sewer system. So.
Okay, anything else, Sean?
That's all, thank you.
Okay. Kenny?
The one that you put on the planning commission, what was her name?
Rachel Rendon.
She lived here in town.
Yes, she lives in Dr. Stotter's old office across from the Methodist Church. Old house.
Okay.
Okay, anything else? Okay, closing comments. You have some birthdays, I think.
I do. From administration, we've got Kevin Goins, May the 18th, happy birthday. Stephanie Lawhon, May the 22nd. Gwen Watson, May the 13th. Police Department, Will Jenkins, May the 27th. Fire Department, Josh Kerr, May the 12th. Public Works, Lance Dowdy, May the 1st. Electric Department, Adam Cook, May the 25th. Janet Beazell, May the 23rd. Clifton Henry, May the 10th. Water Department, Cody Manus, May the 22nd. Sewer Department, Devin Hamilton, May the 18th. Gas Department, John Davis, May the 11th. Shane Johnson, May the 16th. Council member, John Carter,
Coming up.
May the 28th.
Where's the cupcakes?
That's right.
We didn't tell your age. Not yet, either.
No, not yet.
Okay.
Then Gene Farmer, May the 23rd. That's all, Mayor.
Okay, thank you. Some service anniversaries we want to recognize. As I mentioned to council, we have no people hired in the city in the month of May. So there's no work anniversary. I guess, like I said, it's budget time. We don't add none. So no work anniversaries for the city in May, but there are some for the utilities. Brett Zimmerman, 3 years at the water sewer department. Brianna Walker, I almost said Baxter. Brianna Walker, 4 years in the sewer department. Ed Adame, 9 years, gas, water, and sewer. Everett Beatty, we know him as Peanut. Yeah. 11 years in water department. Adam Cook, 12 years electric, and the guy that probably coached a lot of us in baseball, Brian Curtis, 32 years electric department. So we want to thank all these for their years of dedicated service to Loudon Utilities. Okay, is there any other closing comments? All right, thank y'all for waiting it out. Appreciate y'all coming. This meeting is adjourned.
8:34.